In 1990, with the fall of communism in the former Soviet Union, with perestroika, the doors of the Soviet Union, formerly known as the Iron Curtain, began to open. Pastor Kim Samsung and his wife Kim Esther, who were studying abroad in Germany at the time, took heed of the voice of the Lord announcing, "This is the time." They gave up on their doctoral studies to follow a path of faith. The place the Lord called them to was Almaty, Kazakhstan. They knew not the language nor the people. Surrounded by strangers, but the Lord pointed them towards Kazakhstan. Almaty Grace Church, which was founded in a small apartment house in December 1990 by Pastor Kim Samsung, his wife, and their 2 children, soon began to be a life-sharing community for the spiritually hungry local population. August 1991. The first 3-day, 2-night joint retreat became the ember of the upcoming Acts of the Apostles. The following year, the Lord gave the call to preach the gospel in cities outside Almaty, and new local churches began to be planted through district leaders and church leaders who were dedicated to the Lord's call. September 6, 1996. The Lord ordered Pastor Kim Samsung to fast for 40 days while praying. Even with the physical fatigue sustained from his unstoppable ministry, Pastor Kim started fasting for 40 days with the intent of obeying the Lord. When all his congregants came to God by praying together, the Lord told Pastor Kim Samsung, "Transform the hearts of all the people living in Kazakhstan through the gospel." God is telling us that through the gospel, that he is not characterized by despair, but a God of peace and hope. 2000. Almaty Grace Church receives a strong vision for the Back to Jerusalem movement, starting in Xinjiang, China, and continuing through Turkey and the Arab world to Jerusalem. At this time, several missionaries and local leaders who were touched by the same call, including Pastor Kim Samsung, joined forces to inaugurate the Silk Road 2000 Festival. July 2000. On the Silk Road, where no Christian revival has ever taken place throughout history, a whopping 20,000 followers of the gospel overcome their fears and gathered at a stadium. The disciples of Christ gathered to worship God from all over the world, came to God through spiritual revival on the Silk Road, and sought repentance for their nations and peoples. This festival, held in unity by all Christian churches, proved very successful, and the walls that had separated people over history were broken down. And the fire burned even hotter from 2001 to 2007 through the Silk Road Youth Festival that was held every year. Since 2001, the Silk Road Youth Festival, which has been held at Grace Church in Almaty, Kazakhstan, has been a venue for 5,000 dedicated young people who have traveled from 50 major cities in Central Asia. At each year's meeting, God commanded the participants to plant the new churches in every nation, country, and gateway city on the way to Jerusalem via the Silk Road. To that end, Pastor Kim Samsung selected dedicated apostles from those gathered at the Youth Festival and conducted church planting training over 2 weeks. From morning to night, through praying, reading the Bible, and sharing their testimonies, they were raised up as strong soldiers of God, and through them, about 700 new churches were planted, producing amazing fruit. In 2011, God's voice once again visited Pastor Kim Samsung and his wife. The call was that Pastor Kim had to leave Kazakhstan, where he had lived for 20 years, and follow the King's Highway. It was regrettable, but it was God's will. God wanted the Grace Church not to stay in a single place, but to devote itself to the Arab people and Israel of the King's Highway, stretching from Turkey, Jordan, Syria, and Israel. 2012. Accordingly, the church changed its name to the Spring of Life Church, holding on to the new vision that God gave. A small church that had started with the dedicated obedience of Pastor Kim Samsung and his wife With the aim of saving even a single soul, God entrusted an entire city. And as the church obeyed the Lord's guidance, God allowed it to serve a nation and a people. Furthermore, when the church valued God's call and focused on its mission, God enabled the church to serve not only Kazakhstan, but also other countries in Central Asia and along the Silk Road. His Lord said unto him, Well done, good and faithful servant. Thou hast been faithful over a few things. I will make thee ruler over many things. Enter thou into the joy of thy Lord. Matthew 25:23. On the 30th anniversary of the church's founding, now let us push forward again toward a new vision given to us.